everyone, welcome to wildfoxstitchery. My name is Steph and you can find me on Instagram at wildfoxstitchery, or you can email me at wildfoxstitchery@gmail.com, and all that will be listed below. Thank you for joining me today. If you are new, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody who comes back and watches my videos and comments and likes. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you're working on, and if you like any of my projects and want to work on them with me, or you're already working on them, let me know, because I really like finding people who are working on the same projects as me. That's always fun. Just to let you know, I do have an Etsy shop where I sell cute cross-stitch t-shirts, sweatshirts, some mugs, some stickers. So that will be linked below as well. In fact, I have a shirt on right now that's from my store. It says fueled by coffee, sarcasm, and cross stitch. But let's go ahead and get into the stitching. Now, the first thing is something very exciting that I want to show you. It's a finish that I had since my last video. In my last video, I was very close to finishing. I did finish it up since then, and that is my Alice in Wonderland Stitch Along by Satsuma Street. And I had pulled this out because of Kenny Stitches was hosting a sale called the Abandoned Sale, and so I pulled this out because I hadn't worked on it since 2020. And here it is. It's all done. So it's very cute. I love how this turned out. I think it's going to be kind of tricky to frame with the shape, but we'll figure something out. So yeah, that was fun to get that finished up after all these years. And this was stitched with the kit materials for the sale. So I think it's a light blue cashel linen. 28 count is what this is, and then all the called for DMC threads. So that is my exciting finish for the last 2 weeks. I also have a small mini finish, somewhat of a finish. It is for my round robin piece. So I finished my section, and there's a group of us, and we are participating in the Stitching Connection round robin that Jason Cross Stitches is hosting. And I was doing a Carolyn Manning smalls, and it's called Merlin. So this is my 1/4 of the whole design here. So I finished that up. And this is on an 18 count Aida. So that was fun, and I like how nice that looks. I don't know, I might have to do another Carolyn Manning because I just really like the end result. So in October, our group is going to be sending these on to the next person if everybody's ready. So those are my 2 finishes. Let's go ahead and look at 2 new starts that I had. One of them is full coverage, and it's called Sirens Lament. It's artwork by Stokes, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Design. So it looks like this. And let me see how far I am on this real quick before I show you. I am at 1.34%. This is a bigger one. So this is a total of 207,375 stitches. And this is where I'm at. So I started in the middle on this one because I wanted to do something different instead of always starting the upper left corner with the background. So this is the mermaid. You can see part of her hair coming in here, her body. So I'll keep working from the middle out. So a lot of black it's so far in grays. So yeah, this is on 28 count. Even weave, it is 2 over 1/10 stitch. And I'm really excited to work on that some more. I had seen this, somebody else is working on this. Let me take a look real quick here. Oh, Debbie from Apple Harvest Stitching is working on this one, and that's where I first saw it. And as soon as I watched her video and saw the picture, I knew I had to start it soon, and now I have. So that's the first new start. The other new start was for a stitch along hosted by Crafting on the Plains and Bright and Dusty. It's called the Moth Along. So that was at the end of August. This one is Nature Book by Mama Witch Cross Stitch from Etsy. This is how far I've gotten. It's on black Ada, black 14 count Ada. So that was fun to start that. And I wanted to make sure I finished up one of the moths here this time. So that was my second new start. Let's move on to the WIPs. For the last 2 weeks, I had pulled out another old stitch along. I thought I might get some progress on, and I did do a few stitches in it, but not that many. I'll show you here. This is a Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery cell called Into the Jungle, and I'll show you what it looked like before I started. And then this is where I am. So I'm working on this section here with the burns. As you can see, I did put a few stitches in, but not all that many. And the reason is because I don't know, I don't remember which fabric this is. It was part of a kit, but it's just not really, I don't know, I just don't like working on this fabric in the hoop. It's not stiff, it's spongy, and it's kind of I don't know, I just don't like the feel of it to work with it, how soft it is. But yeah, so I didn't get as much progress on that as I thought I might, because this is one of the older stitch alongs I have. But I will pull it out another time and try to get more work on it at some time in the future. Another thing I worked on is a Emma Congdon. It's a pattern here. I'll show you. It's from Cross Stitch for the Earth. It's this pattern here. So there's a section for each season in this pattern. And I started with the summer one on the first day of summer. And I will show you how far I've gotten. Once we get to fall, I'll move to the fall section. I don't think I'll finish up summer after all, because this is how far I am. We're getting towards the end of summer. But this is what it's looking like. So I was able to put this frog in down here. I started on the wing of the goose, and I had to fill in the water here. So this is the width of each section. So I just need to go up. And then the fall section will be next to this one. This is also an 18 count Ada. Okay, what's the next thing that I worked on? I have to add something to my list here so I don't forget, because I just worked on it today. Okay, next one I worked on is Beauty and the Beast by DoNa Stitch. So it looks like this, and this is where it was before I started. This is one of my older WIPs. I would really like to get a lot of work in and hopefully finish it up soon, because I have also the Alice in Wonderland one, and I would like to do that after I finish this one. So I worked a lot on the rose here, and I got all this light pink in for the edges. There is a few petals down here, but up in this main section that the light pink is done. So I did get quite a bit of progress. So this is how far we are. Let's see what the total percentage is, because I do have this in markup RXP. I'm at almost 14% done. So it's a pretty big one. This is on an Ada. It must be either it must be a 16 count. That's kind of what it looks like to me. 16 or even a 14 maybe. And then the long dog sampler that I've been working on in the last couple of weeks a little bit is Castles in the Air. This is what it looked like when I started, and then this is how far I got. So I put in some work down here on this castle, and I started on this flower here. I added a little bit more in this section. So I am at, this is on a 22 count hardanger, and it's 2/1, which ends up being pretty thick, but it works out fine in the end. I was going to restart it, but I changed my mind since I am pretty far on this and I really like the colors. I'm going to keep going and finish it up on the 22 count. Let me see. Oh, this is a paper pattern, so I do not have any percentages. This is one of my this actually is my oldest long dog that I started in 2018. So I think this was the first one I ever started. So I was working on that a little bit. And then I was also working today on my other Beauty and the Beast project by LinaOva. So this is what it looks like and what it looked like before. And I've only worked on it today, but I will show you how far I've gotten. So put in more in the black here. And I think I saw that I had put in 177 stitches today. So this is 1/1 on 28 count even weave. And it's with DMC, and the flowers are going to be, there's 5 different reds that go from the darkest one here down to a little bit lighter gradually with the green leaves, and then I'll have $37.99 for the borders, the straight borders, and everything. The silhouettes will all be the black, the 310. So since it's so big, that's why I'm doing it 1/1 on 28 count, so that it's not quite so huge in the end. So that was fun to get some work in on that today. And then the other thing I worked on was I have two more full coverage that I worked on. So, and one of them I just got out yesterday, so I don't have that much work into it. But one that I did put quite a bit of work on is a mini Watchmen, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. Artwork by Lisa Parker. So it looks like this. And this is where I was when I started. And now I am this far. So this is on 18 count Ada 2/1. And I was grading it with a pencil, but I'm going to switch to, oh, there's a hair here. I'm going to switch to a water soluble marker once I get past this area, since I know that pencil is not going to come out very easily. So I was able to get quite a bit of progress on this. I like how, I just really like using the 18 count for these full coverage, even though it takes twice as long having to do the full cross instead of the half cross that I usually do. But for some reason, I just really like the process of filling in the squares more than doing just half the X. And you can't really see the squares as easily when they're small and just a diagonal line. If you do full coverage, you probably know what I mean. But yeah, so that was one of the full coverage ones that I worked on last week. And then yesterday I spun the wheel again and it pulled up Pirate Cat, charted by UnconventionalXstitch. Artwork is by, let me take a look here because I didn't write this one down either, Natalie Ewert. So it looks like this, and this is where it was when I started. And now I am this far. I still have a thread here because I'm in the middle of working on it. But this is at 7.82% done. And this is on 25 count even weave, 2/1 10 stitch. And I believe it's almost to, like, this is a page right here, I believe, that section. So I think I have 2 pages done here. And I'm just working on filling in some of these sections and continuing on this hat here. But it is looking good. I love how it's looking. And it's kind of nice doing the 25 count over the 28 just for a little bit of a easier time seeing where they go. And the coverage still looks good, if you can see here with the 25 count. I never know if I should do 25 or 28. They both work really well. And if you haven't noticed, I love doing full coverage, so I have a few more that I plan on starting soon. In fact, in October, I'm going to start one called Close Encounters. It looks like this. I'm going to start that with Samantha at Kansas City Stitcher, so that will be something to look forward to. Yeah, since we're talking about plans already, let's go ahead and talk about plans for September. So for September, it's a busy month. Of course, we have the Fall for Foxes stitch along that I am hosting along with Luminea at Forest Crow Crafts on Instagram. So check that out and please join us. We would love to have you join stitching on foxes with us. You can see my video about the fox patterns that I plan on stitching in September, and then I'm going to join a Season of the Witch stitch along with Nicole, and I'll link her below too. So that starts in September, and I have a pattern picked out for that. Also, I'm going to be joining Steph.x.stitch. in her stitch along. I think it's a fantasy themed stitch along, but we're both going to be working on a mini beloved charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and but I can put it below since I don't have it off the top of my head here. Actually, maybe I can find it here. Oh, Adele Sessler. Adele Sessler is the artist of Beloved, and we're doing the mini version. I've already got mine started, but she is going to start hers, and I'm going to work on it with her. So I'll link her below as well. What else for plans? So also football's starting up. So my plan, I have this full coverage that I'm stitching for my husband, and he's really into football. His team is the Patriots. So because I haven't worked on it as much as I would like to, I decided to, in order to get some stitches on it this fall or during football season, I told him if his team wins, I'll put 500 stitches in that week on the Killers. It looks like this, charted by Tilting Crafts. So we can get some progress on that. So I guess it just depends on whether his team wins or loses, if that gets progress that week. So I'll be doing that starting this week, and then I'm going to start doing, I'm kind of just doing whatever I want, whenever I want, aside from these stitch alongs. Obviously I've got plans for those, but I want to do a full coverage Friday where I spin my full coverage wheel and work on that, just that project for the day, to get a lot of progress in on it. And then that will be the one that I work on throughout the week when I get a chance. And that, of course, probably won't start till after September, because I already have some Fox full coverages that I have planned for September. And then, of course, so those, I won't spin the wheel, but I will work on those during the month. And then I'm thinking I'm going to do a sampler Sunday where I spin my long dog sampler wheel and pick one of those and only work on it and work on that the whole day on Sunday, because some of these I do a little bit here and there, but I don't get too much progress. But if I spent the whole day on it, I could get quite a bit done and not try to do any other projects on that day. So I'm thinking I'll probably do that. That might also not happen till after September, just because I have so many plans for September already. And then I have a Mirabilia I'm going to start in November. So once I do start that, I'm going to do a Mira Monday where I work on that on Mondays. So those are some tentative plans in the next couple of weeks. I mean months, not weeks. I did get all the beads and threads I need for the mirror that I'm going to do. It's Bianca Bella. I'll put a picture of it here so you can see what it looks like. But that is going to wait till my birthday month to start, which is November. So you'll save that for now. And then, oh, I should also talk about what else I have gotten since the last time I talked to you 2 weeks ago. I did buy actually three new full coverage patterns. So Heaven and Earth Designs was having their Labor Day sale, and I got this Quick Stitch Enchanted Forest Grove. It looks like this. Obviously it has a fox on it. It's super cute. And it's a quick stitch. So that is one that I bought. And then I also got a Story Keep with a fox on it. It's still called Flower, Fur, and Feathers by Ciro Marchetti. Looks like this. I'm going to start that one actually in September for the fox stitch along as well. That's something new added to the plans. And because it's a Story Keep, it's a little smaller, right? So, and then on Etsy, I got this World of Warcraft Fall of Arthas, it's called, and it looks like this. It's by Designs by Ovi, but there isn't very many World of Warcraft patterns out there, so I really want to do one, and this looks like a good one, so I'm going to start this one soon. I've gotten back into playing World of Warcraft with the announcement of the expansion that's coming out in the beginning of next year. So kind of got me more excited about playing it here. So I've been doing that a little bit more as well. So if you happen to play World of Warcraft, let me know, because I could add you in game. And we could talk about cross stitch and World of Warcraft, because that would be fun. So that is everything I have. Life updates, it isn't much different than before. Training for the half marathon coming up September 21st in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. School started 2 weeks ago. We finished up our second week of middle school with the boys, and it went well. It's a lot of work. We are spending a lot of time doing schoolwork after my work day, which is fine. That's to be expected, and that's part of homeschooling. So a little bit less time for stitching and other things like that, but that's okay. We still have the weekends. And this is a long weekend with a holiday on Monday, so I don't have to work and we don't have school, so that'll be fun. We're gonna go hiking again tomorrow somewhere in Minnesota, some state park. We'll see which one. And then otherwise, there isn't much else going on. So I will say goodbye. Hopefully this video uploads quicker than last time I did it. It took about almost 8 hours to upload a 40-minute video, and I don't know what was going on. But this one is not even 30, so this might be a little bit quicker. So I will see you guys later. Bye!